there, this is the Griffin-88, and I'm here to finally talk to you about Lunar. For those of you who don't know, Lunar is the groundbreaking 1990s RPG. Why was it groundbreaking? Because it was the first RPG to use animated cutscenes.
Magical thoughts, all things are real unless you dream they're not. In your dreams, love is the plot, carried on wings of hope. Each of our souls intertwine when we do. Instantly we see it, the time to grow and be it, when everything is pinned on a hold. Let rise the dreams of your heart, that innocent youth, careless and kind, free to roam the breeze in love, only when two brilliantly shine as one.
So let's get some of the bare facts out of the way before we start talking about the game. Lunar comprises of really two series. One is Silver Star, which was produced in 1982, and then the sequel, Eternal Blue, which was produced in 1994 by Game Arts Studio. The animated cutscenes, which are really what this blog is going to talk about, were produced by a side company created specifically for this called Studio Alex, named after the main character in Silver Star's story. Silver Star's story was remade at a later date. I think I have... Did I write that down? No, I didn't. I'm pretty sure it was fairly recently, I think this century, the 21st century, so it would be like 2001 maybe. Called Silver Star Story Complete for the PlayStation... No, it'd be before that, for the PlayStation 1, because I think the originals were on the Sega. And that's really incomplete, but anyway, so it was remade, and the clips I'm going to be showing you are from Silver Star Story Complete, which I don't own yet, but I will next month. I have somebody who's going to sell it to me, once I have the cash, and I will next month, because I really do hope to play this game, because my own little story for Lunar is that I was just Google image searching ages ago, God, in the late 90s, Fruits of Dragons, and popped this interesting picture of something that didn't really look like a dragon because, here, let me cue up the montage. Yeah, so you see, these little guys are the dragons. At least the dragons before they sort of do this thing where they kind of become ascended and become like true dragons. They look like winged cats, and it was called, the Winged Cat homepage or something, and it was dedicated to the dragons of Lunar. Even though they're not really cats, they're dragons, but it was very intriguing, and I think it's the whole reason why I draw my dragons sometimes as these sort of furred beasts, which is a real, I guess I'd say Asiatic trait for dragons, except for Chinese dragons, which have a mixture of scales and fur, traditionally, but, like, Japanese dragons tend to be more furry. Yeah. Dragon lore. Yeah, so anyway, so the dragons really drew me to the game, and the fact that you have a dragon as your partner. And then, of course, once they become ascended, they become these real dragons, like this guy, Quark, who I'm about to show you. Love the name Quark, by the way. Quark is a great name, and so he's the fully realized dragon. The cutscene you're watching now is actually from Silver Star Story Complete. The original, which I have a screenshot for here, that's what the original cutscene looked like. With the a lot of ums here. with the newer capabilities on the PlayStation, they were actually able to cram in more animations. So for the re-release of Silver Star Story, called Silver Star Story Complete, they had a new cutscene created for this big guy. So being of a musically inclined family, but having no real talent myself, I started inclining more to listening to music rather than actually creating it. I have none of my family's musical talents. It's almost hilarious. But anyway, so in listening, I became really interested with the soundtrack, because the soundtrack is very much like an anime soundtrack, where you have a vocal song in the beginning and a vocal song at the end, and this is a trait that you will see in any anime you pick up. Anything, even Miyazaki falls into that trait. And as did some of the later Tezuka stuff, even though I'm not sure if he actually had much of a hand in the soundtrack like Miyazaki does his. But it's it's like you have a vocal in the beginning, vocal at the end, and instrumental in the middle. Except for the case of Silver Star Story Complete, where they added a song in the middle called Luna's Boat Song. The songs for Silver Star Story, the vocal ones were sung by a woman named Jennifer Steele. And she sang the beginning, which is when. No, that's not. Sorry. It's the beginning theme is called Wings. Then you have Luna's Boat Song, also called Wind's Nocturne. It's got two names floating around. But the instrumental music, which is also really good, was composed by, it says here, Noriyuki Iwadare. So that's the music was actually, if you look at a lot of 90s video games, they were the first to have orchestral pieces, really, sort of moving out of that 8-bit beep boop, electronica era and into more orchestral stuff like you see in almost any video game you pick up today. I mean, anything from Zelda to Call of Duty probably is some sort of instrumental type music. Lunar's hook really is the animation, because if you're trying to write about Lunar at the time it's coming out, you have to understand it's trying to compete with Final Fantasy. So what you really wanted is something that would be eye-catching. That doesn't say the story of Lunar isn't good. The story of Lunar is wonderful. It's part of a subgenre of fantasy called high fantasy, which is sort of set in parallel worlds. I.e., what this means is that this is a very deep world. It's almost like you created another world. Like C.S. Lewis created Narnia, and then you had Tolkien who created Middle Earth. Dune falls into that category, as does Star Wars, for sci-fi. So it's a very intricate world with its own set of rules, its own set of people, its own set of cultures, pretty much whatever you can bring into it. They actually hired a writer. They have his name on Wikipedia. You can really just Wikipedia Lunar, and you'll get it. But they actually hired a writer to write the game script, because they needed it to be so intricate. They wanted it to be so intricate, and it really shows, because everything down from character design to just people. And I read an article it was like Game Informer or something years ago, and it's like video games to make you cry. And in looking up this game, I realized this was the game that the guy in the beginning was talking about. It's like this. So it's like, the story's that good. It's like, it'll make you cry. Shed a few tears for Lunar. So it's not just video games that have anime cutscenes now, and I actually don't know of any contemporary games that have done this. I guess because it's so unique and so interesting as a way of segueing. But of course, it works very well on the 8-bit level, because it's almost, the style for it is almost very, it's very anime. When you have 8-bit, it's very hard to do now with the CG graphics and stuff. But, if I do remember correctly, there have been a few games which have been turned into anime and manga. So Phoenix Wright games are now a manga, and I'm surprised that they knew that sooner, because if you ever played Phoenix Wright, you can see it almost translates itself. Pretty much. It's like, why didn't you do this sooner? It's like obvious, almost. And the other one is the, which has been turned to an anime by Funimation, Tales of the Abyss, the latest of, it's the one that comes, well, it's like by the same people who made Tales of Symphonia, which was a really big when that came out, good game. So Tales of the Abyss, more of a, I like it better because, of the world that's set in, that's just more like my speed, sort of, almost steampunk-like. Very nice. So I have that collection. It's unfortunately there's been no dubs. I only have subtitles, which I was very shocked to find out. I should really read boxes before I buy them, but I don't regret it. I don't. I still need to watch it, but it should be good. I mean, Funimation. They are. I think Next Ghibli Studio is probably one of my top companies for animation. But yeah, no. So there's tons of information about this out there, and I implore you all to check it out. And I guess I'll do a self-plug here. You can also check out my gaming channel, Neurotic Griffin, where I play video games and freak out about them. Sort of. Yeah, I don't really know where that's going, but it should be fun. I mean, it's fun to do this clips. So this is the Griffin 88, and this has been about Lunar and a few other things. See you later.